Good morning, traders. How we doing out there? Who's ready to get back into, of course, the hot seat and get ready to trade? We'll see what we can come up with today. It's going to be another battle. And right now, I'm in a battle right now, guys. I am in two positions, and this is where I got to go ahead and manage it, right? So let's talk about these positions. Let's take a look at the action right now already happening. Then I'll go into some of the playbook out there. One of my biggest watches today is NNE. Also, of course, going to be watching Google and Ulta that I've talked about in the past. We'll talk a little bit about why I'm watching these coming up here. But let's go right into the action. I already am in a trade here. Want to go ahead and talk about it. So let's see what we can come up with and what we can do today on this one, guys. So this is going to be an interesting one to definitely take a look at. And this is a hard one, guys. Penny stock, right? And so I'm stuck in this PWM, but also trying to get out of it, right? Trying to find a way that I can just take a simple loss here versus a bad loss, right? And so if I could just take a simple loss here, I'm willing to get out here, especially like, let's say, going back towards that 120 here, just trying to get out of PWM and then stick with NUWE, which is in the green. It's in the green good now towards 130s. So I want to take a look at this one. I'm just waiting for the smallest spike here in PWM to try to get out of it. We'll see if we're able to get out of this one and manage it and then look to at NUWE. Let's take a peek at that one. NUWE starting to push back towards the 230s. Got in this one closer towards the $2. Looking for a rip back towards 260 and maybe potentially 3 on that one. So we're looking good as we start to lift off there. We've gotten up towards like about 130, 140. Let's see how much this could ride up today. What's going on out there, traders? How we doing? It's good to see you guys. Of course, you guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool. Smash the like already, getting to the trading action here with some smaller names. This is in the limited account, and you guys know it. I've been battling in this one. Going to be taking swings. That's what it's all about, guys. All right, let's see if we can get a little pop into the 120 with PWM. Really ready to go ahead and start getting out of it. There's 120 there. I'm willing to take that 120 as we grow that. They hit me on the offer here, essentially. Taking a loss. I'm okay with that. Let's see if we can go ahead and get it through there. Just trying to get it back up there towards 121 and then getting out there. I'll take it. Comes right back down here, looking for like a little bit of a push up here. Let's see if we can get it. Putting it at the 120, really ready to get out, guys. I'm ready to get out of PWM. I think it could still make its way higher, but this is one that I'm caught in. And I'm really, I like my entry in NUWE, so I'd rather keep that position, take the hit here in PWM. But let's see if I can even get out of PWM with a smaller hit than a 300 hit, right? 300 hit would not be what I need right now. Just trying to battle out here, trying to get any type of pop. I'm taking off the sell right now as I'm just trying to see any little pop here to go ahead and get out of the name here in PWM. And there's a little bit of a drop right back down. It was right here towards 118 just a second ago. Trying to battle in that name. Could add to the position. It's still got about 300 shares on that I can add. So I've been looking to like kind of keep putting some bid support here. It's coming back towards that. That's around the 108 that I've been putting some bid support. I'm going to put it back out there around the 108. I'll put the 107 there. Bring it back down one here. Just looking for a little pop here to sell out on that one. We'll see what happens on NUW, guys. NUWE. Just trying to manage this right now. You know, of course, I got my main account that will be also taking some swings and looking at NNE on that one, looking at SMR, looking at Google. There's a lot of action going on. Tesla today, of course, moving a lot, guys. There was even an upgrade out there. Wedbush giving a nice little upgrade. I saw Dan Ives, I think, also taking a look into this. We'll see what happens. 344 now for Tesla. What a ripoff, guys. Almost 350. And, of course, as this happened, and this was all about, you know, Trump winning. Right? If Trump would have lost, I think that's where the question is about Tesla. But guess what? That's just a question now. So the Bears are running and the Bulls are running too. They're running to the green. So, hey, not looking too bad there, guys. We'll see if it can get a little bit of a rip higher here. Continuing the battle in PWM. Let's see if I can get out of here. And just a small little pop here. I will go ahead and try to get out. Let's see it. Let's see it, guys. All right, there's a 183. He's just looking to manage out of this for a little bit of a smaller loss here, and then just trying to continue battling on the day. NUWE, that's the one that I like, the move, but let's see if it can continue. It just took a hit down. It was up there to the 240s. It was looking really good. Now it's on the pullback. Could come back towards the 210 action here. So just watching the action here in PWM. Now we're getting a little bit of a spike here. I'm just trying to get out on the offer here towards the 24s. I'll take that. See if we can get it there. Looking at, I just put out the offer there right underneath it here. Let's see if it just takes a little bit of a spike up and hits me. Right below some order right there. Let's see if we can start to get it up there. And it just comes right back down, guys. Every time the offer is jumping up there, no one's taking the offer on PWM. So that's a little bit scary there as I get the NUWE drop there. Back down towards my entry here. That looked great here. So now I got to be a little bit careful about this one, undercutting the $2 on the downside. It's made it up there 2-3 times. If it can go up there one more time, I'll definitely be looking to add if it breaks 250. But that's just for you guys also to know the level so that if it goes back to that 250, at least you guys are looking for it. We'll see what happens, right? Like always, hey, it's another beautiful day right here on Trade the Pool. Let's talk about some of the action that's going on right now. I'll keep trying to trade these on the sideline here, and then we'll see what happens. Of course, I'll try to keep up with you guys and let you guys know what's happening. You guys can always look in the bottom left and take a look at my positioning. I don't hide things. A lot of people would probably hide this right now that they're caught in a position. I'm always going to tell you guys exactly how it is. Let's keep getting after it. It's good to see you guys in the chat. What's going on out there? Mohit, what's going on, man? Coin and Hood. Definitely. You guys know I've been one of the biggest proponents of what? Of Bitcoin going to 100,000. Yes, I said it. 100K is what I see at least in Bitcoin, right? And I could see that before the end of the year. And then we might come into a little bit of some trouble into the beginning of the year. But we ain't going to talk about that right now. What we're going to talk about is Bitcoin taking the 80,000 and a lot of these crypto names going to the upside. So definitely something to take a look at in the market today. Let's go keep a watch in the market and see what we're talking about there. And look at PWM all the way back down towards 110. I'm telling you guys, this one might be the one that kicks me out today, guys. And this was one that I got to say, it was one of those where I had a decent kind of outlook. It was one of those where I'd stepped away a little bit, came back, and it was looking good. It was around the 130s, so it wasn't too bad. So I added in it around the 123s, looking for it to come back up towards the 150. It hasn't made it back there. So PWM has me in danger. Let's go to, of course, the Bitcoin names, Coin, and other names that are going higher this morning. Look at Coin's rip since the election, guys. Since November 5th, right? Since that area, even on Tuesday, guys, I was talking about that there was only one trade that I could see continuing to the upside, and no matter what, if whoever won. So Bitcoin hitting that fresh high, of course, after Donald Trump win, it got up there towards 82,171. Of course, breaking the 80,000 that we were looking for. Now we can continue looking for another upside move here. You can watch Mara, and it seems to me like CleanSpark is still not trading, guys. So we'll see what happens with CleanSpark after, of course, that lockup on Friday. Can they unlock it today? We'll find out. It's crazy to think that you could be locked up in that trade. I wonder what happened to traders on Trade the Pool. I'm going to ask about that, seeing what's going on with that. But it's an interesting conversation. Mara. Take a look at Mara today, guys. $22. This was just trading at 19. So big spike there. We got to be careful because these have kind of gotten a big run, right? So we got to be careful for pullbacks. But this was one that I gave you guys. Hive around $4. It's now $5.20. So up 30% from where we saw it. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll continue with you guys. Let me just take a little sip here. All right, guys, let's keep it going. So Hive is another one to look for, but there's other ones, right? You can take a look to see a whole bunch of names this morning, right? I was seeing a bunch of names. Cypher Mining up there to 750 now and continuing. And remember, this one had gotten buyouts right around this area. So this one's already making a nice move to the upside. BTBT, we talked about it at 4. It's up there now to 5. So if there's any names that are making good swing trades, it's these names. They're making good day trades too. But take a look at the hourly charts, especially when I take a look at some of these crypto names. Let's talk about China tariffs and the danger that's out there, right? So I'll talk about some of these names also, continuing to watch to see if I can get any type of lift off there. We'll see what happens on PWM. Also watching, of course, NUWE to see what happens on that one. Looking for a push back through the 230s. That's really where things start to look a lot better. We'll see if we get back up there towards the 250s and 3 today and NUWE. Let's go to the China stocks and take a look at China. We'll go to Palantir. I got you, Linda. Just stick around. BABA today. Let's talk a little bit about this. And, of course, what are we going through? We're going through none other than the Sunrise Report that you guys can get every single morning on our Twitter, on our Discord. If you don't have our Discord, you're missing out. Definitely. Let's keep running through the Sunrise and see what we can find. All eyes on China, guys, as we continue to watch to see what happens here in this situation, as, of course, tariffs are on the alert. Trump wins, of course, raising the tariff concern on China and other Asian exporters with large U.S. trade surpluses. So Goldman Sachs putting out a warning out there that it's not just China that could get hit, but it's also places like Vietnam and South Korea. So I think we need to be watching to see what happens with the tariff situation and how these stocks react. We've seen multiple bottoms here on BABA. So if it goes back to, like, let's say 90, it's pretty much done. But if we don't go back to 90, well, that's something definitely to look for. We'll see what happens, guys. Am getting a little bit of a lift in PWM. We'll look to see if we're able to get out there. But definitely it's trying to battle back there. BABA looking to see if we can get this kind of turning effect where we don't go to this 94 and come back through 100. If we do go back through 100, I still see this as a long in this situation because China's going to have to do some kind of stimulus to help itself out if the tariffs are coming. So I don't think this trade is done. Even though some traders think this one is, I got out because there was a dangerous spot there after the election. But doesn't mean that this one can't go back into the triple digits, all of a sudden be gapping at 110, 115, and then we're looking back at this trade wondering why we didn't get some exposure to China. So we'll see what happens there in that China trade. Of course, we've talked about Tesla reaching new heights, of course, and investors continue to bet on favorable policies under the new Trump policy, of course, and Tesla continuing 342 now. And it's in right now a nice 15-minute pattern. We'll look to see if we can get a little bit more on that 15-minute pattern. Nice little spike here in PWM. About to go ahead and just take the out here. If it can give me a little spike there. Now I'm trying to get out here around the 125s. Let's see if it can give it to me. I'll even put it down here. I'm canceling. I'm going to go ahead and try to just get out of this name, man. Every time I try to get out, it's just not giving it to me. So got to get out on the bid side of things. So that's what I'm going to be looking for, the bid to jump up a little bit here, and then I'll just go ahead and take it out. Let's see if I can get any type of jump here on the bid action. I have it in the top right corner. You'll look for that. Tesla in a nice kind of flagging pattern here on the 15 minutes. So this is going to be an interesting one to look. I'd actually look for one more dip down. That's just me, but you guys can always get in whenever you want. 340s is the area that I'd be looking for as this kind of battles back and forth, but comes back for one more takedown back towards like 339. And then we can get the push back towards like 346. We'll see what happens there in Tesla. What are you going to do? What you going to do when they come for you? All right, Tesla, we'll see if it keeps pushing. That is a monster rip on Tesla. I mean, overall, that's going to start affecting the other auto manufacturers. So look for this trade today, guys. This is a nice tip. So a lot of times when Tesla runs, GM and forward run just because of the space, the sympathy in the space. Right now, we're looking at Ford trying to recover a push back towards 1125s. This looks interesting today. It's already at this 11, starting to climb this morning, but could take the 1130s, maybe towards 1150 today. Hey, it's not a bad one to keep watch on the radar. So definitely going to watch this one. We'll see if we can get this one to kind of keep rising. And GM also that had actual good outlook. You guys can see it this morning continuing to rise. And look at the daily on this one. This looks awesome too. So you could still get a pullback to the 54, but the strength in that move right there and this volume bar tells me someone wanted big in and they said, I don't care, I'll take the 55s. Let's see if 55 holds today and we take continued high through the Bollinger Band. If anything, expand outside of that, starting to push back towards the highs in 22, which we're up there to 65. All right, let's keep going. Let's see what else is out there. We'll take a look at some more here in the Sunrise Report. There's a couple more, and then we got stocks from you guys in the chat. So stick around, guys. I'll definitely go through all the stocks you guys want me to look at. Cigna rising this morning. Let's take a look at Cigna as we start to get a little bit of a lift here. Cigna starting down. She goes here. And sorry, wrong ticker there. Cigna is CI. Sorry about the ticker. There's Cisco, Cigna rising 8% after announcing it won't pursue merger with Humana. So this is a canceled merger, and it's actually getting a little bit of a lift on this because a lot of times they take a hit down because of the purchase price. And you guys can see it here now back towards 350. Will this kind of continue giving it a lift as it bounces back? I mean, it's not a bad one to watch. I think that what they saw is that under a Trump presidency, it probably is not even needed to go ahead and do this merger. So we'll see what happens. This actually is a positive area to look for in this space. I'd watch for other players in this space to see if they start making a lift. You see United Health pushing to the upside. I'd be watching, of course, some of the bigger ones. You got Cigna behind that. You got CVS, but CVS, not the one to be looking at. Humana starting to recover 300 today. We'll look to see if that can get another little pop here. Molina Health is another one to maybe keep a watch on. It's been sideways for a little bit. Let's see if it gets a pop above 360. All right, let's go to Cisco here, as that's the last one that I'll really talk about, as they get an upgrade here from JP Morgan, upgrading the stock to overweight with the analysts expecting earnings to be growth by fuel and recovering demand in the enterprise networks. So Cisco just taking off here, guys. This one actually looks like a really good play here, because it also is a buildup on multiple charts like weeklies and monthlies. So I think at this point, you've had your pullback in Cisco, which was this pullback towards the 55. Now you can look for this weekly high to hold, which is 56.87. But other than that, you're in control, at least the bulls. We'll see if it does do a pullback to the 9 EMA. Right now, strength is on. All right, guys, here it is, guys. So now I'm getting this test here for, of course, PWM. I'm getting out of this, guys. I'm taking the small loss there. You guys see it, down 71 there. I got out of PWM just because it was, honestly, I could get back into this name, but this was a little bit too much danger this morning. And sometimes you just got to cover yourself, right? So there it is. I covered myself there, got out of PWM. We'll see if this lifts back, because the chart is there. It's starting to rounding bottom, but it could easily go back to the 115s. And then the next thing you know, I'm caught in that. So I took a hit there, $81, but now I can focus on the one that I thought I had a better chance of succeeding in, which was NUWE. Let's see what happens with this one now, as this one's been struggling. But at least this point, I'm at least back into a place where I can battle here. We'll see what happens on NUWE. Looking good this morning. It did pull back there. Let's go to the 15-minute here just for a second. We'll take a look at some of the action. And then Palantir is coming up next. There's the 15-minute 9 EMA. That's kind of what I'm wanting to be watching here. Definitely don't want it back through the 206. We want it back there through that 240s. I don't mind even adding on this one. It's still a nice little setup here. I'm in at 208, so I don't need to jump to anything right now, but it looks good here, guys. Let's see if it really starts to prop and take a good run. All right, guys, this is the one that I feel I can make my money back and then some. So we'll see what happens there on NUWE today. All right, there's a little bit of a move starting to push back. I'm really looking for the cross to happen back here on the 5-minute. You can see how it's bouncing right there on the line. Looking for that to go ahead and cross back up there towards the 233s and then taking the high. All right, we'll see what happens on that one. Let me know if you guys see it running. I'll be watching for it in the corner here. Let's go to Palantir, as Palantir is up to $60. What an incredible move here, guys. At this point, let's start taking a look at the RSI and seeing what's going on there. At some point, this is going to be a turnaround, but I think it still even has some legs, guys. If you look on the daily has had some quick turnarounds around, let's say 93, and I'll pull it a little bit closer to 91. So right now we're on the 83 for the RSI on the daily. Does that mean it's done? No, it doesn't mean it's done. To me, if anything, it means that it's continuing the strength. At some point, it's going to break. Right? So I'd be watching for a daily close underneath the 9 EMA eventually on a pullback for opportunities for the upside. But for right now, you're just riding kind of short-term momentum. Even on the 1 hour, you're not breaking the 9 EMA. So I'd be watching for hourly long pullbacks on that 1 hour chart. If it can hold 60 today, that 58 area, you're still looking good in Palantir. But what a ride there in Palantir, guys. It's been a monster move. That's for sure. All right, here's NUWE starting to get the move going here. Let's take a look at the action, and then we'll go to BBAI. And you guys in the chat, keep dropping up some tickers. What are you guys looking at this morning? We got a lot to take a look at, guys. Let's go. Let's go. All right, here it is, guys. NUWE. Let's take a look at it here. See if this really starts to get the go here. And I think it was very important for me to cut out of that PWM. So now I at least have a setup that I can really make some good money in here. I don't mind adding like 100 or 200 more. So that's probably the 200 shares that I'll probably add here if it starts to really break out. But that's towards like the 230, 240s. I want to really be in control when I add that. And that one's more for the kind of continued momentum breakout here. We'll see if we get it. And of course, looking at different kind of indicators here to kind of take a look at the action there. And we can take a look here. We're starting to finally get that 1 minute cross. I'm not trying to overreact on the 1 minute though. Just trying to watch that 5 minute stay in control. All right, guys, just got an alert there. NNE greater than 23.28. So NNE is definitely on my radar this morning. Let's go to the main account. Take a look at that action. We might go long right here in the pre-market in NNE. I like this because it could pull back to 21 today, but it could also just take the 23.25, and then we're pushing towards 27 today. So it's been a strong move already. It's had a nice little run this pre-market. It's climbed back from this morning. This morning it was down at 22.29. So that's the hard part, is that we're definitely late to the move here. We're seeing it climb on the 5, but hold. I'm going to be watching for this, especially towards the gate. I would like for this to take a little bit of a pullback before the bell here, but let's see what happens if it starts to push to 23.50. I don't want to miss the big move there. And SMR, of course, also on the radar to be watching there, because they're both nuclear plays. So I talked about it. Will nuclear go nuclear today? Yes, pun intended. Dad joke of the year. Looking to see if this can hold this 23, break through the 26, and continue on the upside. Of course, SMR has continued this strength, while NNE kind of pulled back there and just recently started to get the strength again. I think this is time for it to go and approach the high. We'll see if it starts to break out and make that next move. NUWE now starting to get up there towards 223s. We'll see when it gets towards the 230s. Maybe I'll get for another ad there. I'll have to switch over. But NWE definitely on the radar. Google is also on the radar with the playbook today, guys. So this is one that I definitely keep on the radar for a nice little breakout here as it continues to hold sideways. And it could take back that 182.50 from Thursday action. That's really what I'm looking for a nice breakout to the upside, as this already looks strong. It could start making its way to 196. And dare I say, does Google want 200? Stick around, guys. It just might be making it up there. All right, guys, it's 9:07. Yes, we've taken over. It's Trade the Pool, guys. Let me know in the chat how you guys are doing. How you guys are doing in your accounts, of course. Battling in the evals. Just to give you guys perspective, let's go take a look at a trade that I'm kind of scared to look, guys. I'm taking a bigger trade here on IonQ back to the upside after I made a cool, nice 700 this morning on a short trade. So I was short overnight on IonQ, and now taking a look at it, I'm down 229, but let's take a look to see where it's at. This is one that had a lot of news throughout the weekend. I was so kind of spooked on this one. But we'll take a look to see if it can hold kind of the 24, 25s today. Make a move back towards 25. I'm in at 24.68. I might get out of this, right? I'm not going to lose too much. I only want to risk probably about 300. Oh, and there goes NUWE. Let's go to the account here, guys. There's the NUWE into the green here. Now we're starting to make the move. So I'm really ready to go ahead and add that size in here. If I can get the pullback here, I don't mind it. So I'm putting out the order here at 225 to go ahead and add. If I can get a small little pullback, I'll take that add, and looking for the rip above the 240s and breakout above towards the 3. All right, so big orders at the 242s and 241. That's where we have a lot of orders aligned, 10,000 shares there. So that's where you can definitely see some kind of wall being put up there. Now it's 237. So 237 is where we'll look to see if we slow down there. It just got me on that pullback. So now I'm in here towards like 214. So I like where I'm in. I have a big size. I'm taking a big swing. Let's see if this can start to go and make a run to 3. That's NUWE. So if you look at it on the 15-minute chart, that's also what I'm watching too. So back through the 240s, it starts to look really good towards 250s and 275. Let's see if we can get a nice little run there. Get back up there towards the high. It won't be looking too bad, I'll tell you that much, guys. All right, got 600 shares from 214. Even if I get it back towards 3, that's a monster win. So let's see what happens. Tesla keeping the strength out there. NNE starting to approach the highs. I'm going to be looking around out there, but Tesla looking pretty decent here. NUWE, let's see if it can break the 240s and really start to go. I don't feel like it was a bad pullback add there. Let's see if it really wants to make the run now and go into 250 and 3. I don't understand what you're doing. I'm taking trades, man. Good morning. All right. We're trading here. What do you not understand, Ramu? Follow through today on Costco. Not a bad one. ETH. You can take a look at that one. What about ETHU? ETHU, of course, is a nice ether, 2 times leverage. This is one that I've been watching for a little bit of a pullback here, and we're getting it right now. I think I'll look for a little bit more out the gates here. 778 looks pretty decent there for a little bit of a recovery back here. Not a bad looking name there on ETH. So this is ether, ETF, and it's 2 times leverage. I'm perfect, Ramu. I'm sorry about that, man. The key there is what do you need, man? If you don't understand what I'm doing, just ask the questions and I'll help you. Looks like you're more a Forex trader, mentioning that. So, of course, here we trade the New York Stock Exchange, doing stocks. But hey, if you're into, of course, Forex, I understand this is very similar but different, right? Different asset class. So you got to just take a look at it. We don't trade currencies here, so I can't give you too much on the USD today. I did see the dollar was up. That's about it. And don't forget, bond markets are closed today, so that's something to think about, guys. All right, we'll see if we can finally get this NUWE to make a breakout here, guys. It's approached the breakout a couple of times here. I'm just looking for the real break here. Back below the VWAP, I can also just get out at the 214. I should be break even on this trade now, guys. So pretty much either making my money or getting out of it, right? So looking for the breakout. If not, I will get out of this name, maybe take a small little win here. We'll see what happens there if we can get this NUWE breakout. It's approached the move plenty of times here. So on the 5-minute, we're still holding well. So I'm just trying to hold on. As that 5 minutes still looks good here for a quick move back towards 275. And if it does that, of course, you can see on the daily that 275 is a daily close here from Monday, right around that level. 281 was the level. So that could act as resistance. If we can break through there, there's no reason why this can't go $3.50, $4. So, of course, I won't be able to hold it to that because I'll have to take the money and run, especially if I can make my nice little $600. All right, guys, I don't trade the stock market, only Forex. Okay, well, if you want to check something out, Ramu, why not go to Trade the Pool and check out our demo so that maybe you can get on the stock market game and come hang out with us right here. You're already here. Might as well go check it out. Just go down below in the description and click it. Go check it out. Trade the Pool, man. All right, so 233s. Can we get this to actually run? Let's go looking at the overall market, see what's going on there. I'll let you guys know if I start to see that push. SPY starting to come down here. We're starting to leak. I don't know what happened there, but definitely started to get a little bit of a leak there. We'll see if we start to turn around here. Tesla, though, holding that kind of that 342 on the VWAP, now approaching that break back towards 344. We'll see if it makes the breakout right now. All right, looking around at some other names. Let's go to AMD. AMD looking like it's trying to recover a little bit here. I've been watching it on the daily. It's been holding. I think we got to continue to watch it as a name that could get some up move, especially if like kind of NVIDIA can continue the strength. NVIDIA holding 148. Can it take 150 today? Will be a big watch there. Big watch. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is out there trading right now. Finally getting a push into NUWE. Let's see if we can finally get this to give the breakout here, guys. We're all watching it here. Let's go, NUWE. Go for the move here. Can we get the breakout? And right there, get stuffed there. So 240s, somewhere there, 241s, 243s. There seems to be some wall there. It's up at 242s right now. So 242, big wall that we cannot break through right now, where there's a big seller, and that's what's costing us on NUWE right now. We'll look to see if we get back there. Of course, it's been up there 1, 2, 3 times. One more time is the last time I can give it. After that, I'll have to go ahead and cut it out. So we'll see what happens here. NUWE, can it go for the move? Will it do it? Find out right here. Smash the like, guys. There's some names. Now we're seeing some other tickers. That DXYZ, I've been seeing people trade that nonstop. That thing's been doing well. Destiny Tech ETF. It's been big push up here, guys. The thing is, this is brand new, so it's very hard to trade. It is holding nice little flagging patterns. That's one thing that we talked about. You got another one here in the pre-market, but it was a little bit of a tougher trade. That kind of like a rising push back there. Now, right now in the pre-market this morning, you're getting it here again to try to make the push back to 50. I'll see if it can hold the 46 or the 45 today and then make that push to 50. Doesn't look too bad there. Just needs to continue going through towards that 50. All right, let's go to SUGP. I saw this one earlier. Smaller name was making a push, then pulled back. This one was already up there towards like 225s, and I was like, I don't know if I feel this one. It's back down towards 172. We'll look to see if it gets a push again. It's all the way back to kind of where it ran from, so pretty much negates that big move that you see. So it's hard to kind of say that it's going to go all the way back there to 250 and 275 because it's just that big of a pullback, right? If we take a look at how much it went up there 70%, right? But then that pullback right there is already about 38, 40% back, right? So I think that's one thing to keep in mind there for SUGP. We'll look to see if it does make the move back. The real move to kind of look for now is a recovery of 225. That's where you're going to run into a little bit of a wall where you ran into the seller here that kind of stopped this move here around the 230s. All right, NUWE trying to reload on the 230s. We'll see if it reloads on the 230s and finally takes that 250s. I'm not really kind of keeping too close of a watch. I'm just kind of keeping an eye on the cash as that keeps moving. AMSC, let's take a look at that one. Pull back from 41 down there towards the 36 and 37s. This one looks like it's been on a big move here, but has had a blown off top. If I take a look at that daily, that's too much of a move, too fast, and it looks like it's pulling back to 35 at least today and filling back some of that gap. Of course, it can reach 35 and then maybe come back. So I don't like this one right now. I think it's, unless I'm shorting it through 36, going back towards the 35s. All right, NUWE, come back towards the VWAP here. We'll look to see if it holds here. If not, I got to let it go, guys. I've given this one a chance to break out through 240s plenty of times, which is not a bad move. It's a pretty good move there, but just haven't gotten that nice kind of a level there. So we'll see what happens, guys. Can it make the move? Find out. All right, taking a look around to see what else is making a move. The shipper's still moving higher. That's interesting out there. I'm looking at the scanners here. AEMD, another 45-cent stock that's looking to make a move into the 50 cents. We'll look to see if it makes that move. TPST. Interesting one. $1 one, just above the $1. So maybe this one starts to hold $1 today and actually can push above that. Interesting one to take a look at. And I'm just looking into the scanners here, guys, to see what's showing me out there. HUVR is the last one. The hover up at 50 cents, was up there all the way up towards maybe 70 cents earlier. So big move earlier. Let's see if it can make a push back towards that 70 in the open market. All right, let's go looking around MSTR. Let's go. We've gone over coin. So if you want to see a coin, I would rewind there. MSTR up there to 300. Talked about how this one's just continuing to rip. Pullbacks to the 9 EMA have held every time. So now I'd maybe look at pullback towards resistance. So can it come back to 275? That's where it looks good for the buy. Right now it's at 300. So if you're looking for maybe just a 300 push, just be careful for quick sweeps back, right? Because it could wash out some bulls and then get some bulls back in it. We'll see what happens on MSTR. 300. You're not the only one watching that level. Tons of traders are watching that right now. We'll see if it takes it here in the pre-market. All right, going to continue watching to see what else is trading out there. We can go to some different names. We can go to gold. We can take a look around at some basic materials. GOLD has been dropping fast this morning, guys. So gold down big. GOLD, you can see it here. So are we seeing it also in silver? Yeah, so basic materials down big this morning. JNUG is kind of a bull, 2-time leverage. This one might be a short today out there, but definitely seeing the downside action come into gold today. AU has a tendency of trending in a direction. When it's in the green and it looks like gold is going to make a big rip, it does well. But when it also drops, it drops like a tank. 2620s already dropping a pretty good amount here in the pre-market, 4%, but could go lower. So I'm looking at maybe any pop back on AU to get short on this. It's not a bad one to keep a watch, especially towards the open, as that's gold taking a major beating. And definitely take a look to see if there's other basic materials that are on the downside. All right, what's going on out there, guys? Created an account. I want to learn from the basics because I don't know how it works. Market analysis, fundamentals, and technical analysis. Okay. So first things first, right, is first try to understand, in my eyes, if you were a brand new trader and I was just teaching you from day one, what would I tell you to learn first? I would tell you to learn what's called sector in intermarket analysis, right? And so what you're really looking into is understanding how the sectors and industries work and that there's a rotation between that, right? Sometimes we're into growth names, like right now. Those are the names that are hot. So you're looking at names with high PE values. That brings in some fundamental analysis, right? So you're taking a look to see what sectors are doing well and what industries are doing well, because usually those tend to continue doing well, right? So playing the strength, like let's say if the hot play right now was, let's say USD and let's say, I don't know, the yen, right? If that was the hot play, you'd want to go and continue playing that, right? So let's take a look at the action there and seeing what's going on in the sectors. So utilities right now are going higher and have consistently gone higher. Why is this one moving? This has to do with more a macro situation. This has to do with more economics and has to do with interest rate, right? So interest rates are definitely being adjusted here, right? So interest rates are being cut. That helps the utility names continue higher. That also helps the industrials stay higher. That's why industrials have lately ripped to the upside. And we all know how Trump is a supporter of like a stock like Caterpillar. And Caterpillar, on just his announcement, was up there to 420. It has pulled back to 400. Let's see if maybe these start to get hot again. So this is something to look at, right? Sectors, right? You can also go into certain industries, right? Like I'm bringing up here a certain industry to look at. What is that industry? That's going to be in your industrials, and you look on the right-hand side. These are my industry outlooks. So you can look here and also maybe just use a weekly here on, this is my own kind of charting service, so you might not have this, but I'll help you out to kind of take a look at what's been doing well in the last kind of weeks, right? That's what's important there. Trucking's been doing really well. That's an interesting one to see doing really well there. Of course, support probably the Trump space, but you also got some other ones that have pulled back, like farm and heavy construction. So that's why I look at the industries, right? I want to see what industries are hot and what sectors are hot, what industries are hot. So then I can go to the stocks and find those stocks that are hot, right? So let's take a look at something like technology that's been on a breakout to the upside, right? So we take a look here and we can go to what's leading in electronic computers and consumer electronics. Those are where we've seen some strength as of late. So if we look at the high cap names there, we can start taking a look to see if any of those names look like a good chart to the upside, right? And this AVT, one that I'd be thinking about. I don't know what it does, but it doesn't matter. I'm looking more into the actual like macro to micro approach here. NUWE coming back to 223s. It was just up there to 244s, looking like it was going to break out again here, guys. It is not being able to do it here. I'm hanging on because of where my entry is, but we'll see what happens on NUWE towards the open. It's 923. I'll keep watch on that. Consumer electronics. This looks strong here. This looks like it wants to make maybe a Black Friday run. So what do you look here? Well, you got Apple, Sony there. Sony on a big push to the upside. LPL, LG, displays, consumer electronics. Something to think about, right? What about Vizio? Maybe making a little bit of a continued run to the upside. Here, Turtle Beach looks interesting on the chart, right? So this is how I work backwards, not forward. So don't look at what stocks are moving. Look at what sectors and industries are moving, and then look to see if you can find a stock that you like there that you can go trade. You can also trade ETFs, which are more into your sector outlook. So that was just a quick rundown, Ramu. It's a lot to look into. I don't expect you to take all this and understand it today. Also understand you're in a demo so that you can just have fun. Understand it's buying, selling, how that works. Another thing is on our platform, and I'll tell all the traders to do this because I think it's very important to understand the platform, right? If you're not understanding the platform, you're going to get confused, and that's not going to help you, right? So take a look here, right on my platform, guys. I don't hide anything, and that's the great part about this stream. You see it here. So I would go to the More section, and then I'd go to the About section. If you go to the About or Onboarding, both of those sections are going to give you a lot more information so that you can learn how to use this. And we're coming out with some great videos to show you more and more about how to exactly use the platform and get the best advantage here. We'll see what happens there. And we'll see if my stock wants to take off here, NUWE. All right, let's keep going. Let's go back to my other screen here and take a look at some stocks that you guys are watching. Keep them rolling in the chat. We got a lot more for you guys, and the bell is coming soon, guys. All right, let's see if we can finally get that lift off there. NUWE, man. A little part of me feels like adding to this, but now I'm just adding and trying to wish for it to make the move instead of just waiting for it. Got to be patient. Sometimes it pays to be what? Patience. Patience is what pays, guys. Let's see if it starts to make the move and finally breaks out above that 240 seller. There's a repeat seller into the 240s. That's what I'm watching for it to break to see if we can get the lift and continued push. So you can see how it keeps holding the 9 EMA and recovering. That's good outlook there, right? So now we're looking good into the 230s. Will we take the 240s, 250s, 270s and go for a big breakout here? Let's go for it. Let's see if we can get it. All right, there's a first action there, 232s. It's all about the 242 seller. And you can see it here on the side, right here on my level 2. So this is what I'm looking at here. And really what I'll watch for is when we get there, do we get a big order that shows up in my time and sales window, which is this bottom right-hand window, guys. Very important to look for different sizing there. And to look for also when you're seeing big sizing there, does it show up on the time and sales? That tells us if someone's fluffing the order books or really trying to get this to go through. So we'll see what happens there. Mohit wants to look at Hood. We'll take a look at the Hood, or dare I say, the Robin Hood. Where's the Robin Hoods out there, guys? We'll see if this makes that break there. Hood trying to climb back here. Let's go to the hourly chart. This one has been hot, of course, since the elections. And I feel like this is a little expansion, a little too far away. So you see how far this is from the Bollinger Band? This tells me that this could pull back, right? Maybe back towards 31 and then find some buyers. But right now, it's a little extended on the upside. Does it mean that it has to turn back? No. But it also tells me that, hey, you're pushing and pushing. You can see how it pulled back towards the kind of the 9 EMA on the hourly. That's the support I think it needs to hold if it wants to stay strong. So around 32.25s, maybe 32 if you're trying to get a little bit, give it a little room, right? So it needs to work its way back up towards 33.70s if it wants to break out through 34s. It's trying to build that kind of flagging pattern, that kind of pennant pattern. So maybe look to see if you get some more pullback into this area into the open and then eventually a comeback. But back down towards 31, it seems more likely just based on the daily chart. That's just on the daily chart. We'll see what happens there. All right, guys, I've been waiting for this NUWE, waiting patiently, but will I get patiently paid? That's what matters most. Let's see if we can get it here. The 15-minute chart still looking good here. The bell is about to hit, and that's where I get concerned here. So let's go to it, guys. It's time to make that money. You know it, Mohit. Get after it, traders. Stick to your rules. Like always, stay safe out there, guys, because you guys know what time it is. It's time. Let's get it, traders. Let's go. Bell's coming here in just 1 minute. Let's get ready here. Let's see what we can come up with. Let's go. All right, guys. Bell's about to hit here. I'm ready to go. I got to get ready here because right when this opens, this is going to be hard to manage. So it could do a quick pullback to $2. I don't want to lose that. So I got to be careful here, especially out the gates. If I need to get out, get back in, sometimes that's what makes sense, right? So I'll get out, break even, and look to get back in if I need to, because the washout through 2 and then it goes to like 180. It's going to be a little frustrating here. So let's see what happens out the gates. It's trying to wait for the bell here, and it could scare some traders right before the bell here. So let's see what happens. Does it run right out the gates? That's also an option, right? Give no pullback and it just takes off. If it does just take off, I'm looking to sell some towards 3, maybe even 280s. I don't mind taking and running. All right, here it goes, guys. There's the bell. Stay safe out there, traders. Let's see what happens. Here's that first push to the 230s. Let's see if we get a pullback. I'm looking for the expansion up here now. 238s, 240s, 242s. Can we break through it? There's 238s. Now pulling back a little bit here. There's a 242 repeat seller, and I see him hitting, but not getting through. You see I went back to 230s on the time and sales. That's what I'm watching. I'm looking for 240s to show up there. 240s not showing up there. Could pull back right back towards my entry here. Got to be careful. It hit that repeat seller again here. Could come back and then take the moves. So I'm setting a stop right at my entry here. We'll see if it comes back and gets me. Here it comes back into that range to stop me out. It's okay if it stops me out because that repeat seller there is holding it up. It's holding the move. It went right to that 240 and stopped like literally to the dot. So there was that big repeat seller there at the 240s, and that's what's costing us right now. That's what's holding back the breakout. Here it comes for that 240s. I'll look for it to move. If it gets back above the 240s too, I can even add. But right now, I'm seeing the struggle there. I would like to see a nice quick pop where it goes to 260, and then I'll look to see if it just runs. There's 230s. Now it just held that 9 EMA 219. So definitely shouldn't go back towards my entry, which is 214s. There's a 240s. Now we're breaking through. Now we're getting that real pop. Now we're getting that real move here. Let's see if it continues. Reloads at the 242s is what we're looking for. So there's 249s now showing up there. Some big buys coming through there at the 250s. Someone got caught there. 244 is now coming back. So they're holding that 242 pullback. I don't want to see it back below into the 230s now. I wanted to see it take the 250s and go for the 3. Let's see if we get it there. Now we're starting to rock and roll. Let's go. Let's go. Take that 250. Then we'll rock and roll and start squeezing here towards the high of the day. The trend line approach is coming for the reload right now, back into the 230s. Let's see if that goes ahead and takes the next move. So you see the trend line approach right there, starting to pull back there, trying to reload there. Let's see if it takes the next move here. NUWE. I'm going to make it as big as possible since I'm describing this so much. And you can see here on the MACD, nice crossover. So that's good action to see. Wouldn't want to see it cross back. Want to see it expand above this line. So start to take back above here. So the MACD crossing above that, going into the 0.4 is what I'm looking for on the expansion. You can draw trend lines on the MACD. Did you know that? I don't know if many traders know that, but you can draw it on there. And you can definitely take a look to see if that starts to cross. That's good action there as we cross into the 5. That tells me that we are getting some bullish action here. Let's see if it takes the push. Here's the 250s here. Now we're starting to approach the breakout here towards the 260s here. Now we're starting to break out here. Let's go. Let's go. Some big buyers coming in there. Some volume definitely flowing through there. Let's go. Quick pullback, man. What a move there, guys. They brought it back all the way back towards the 220s there. WBD giving me an alert. So WBD definitely one to watch there. NNE, that made the move there, guys. That pushed off the 2290s up there, passed through the 23s. So I'm missing a move because I'm watching this, guys. I'm going to go trade my other account here. NUWE looking good here. I'll stay off break even. We'll look to see if we get the breakout move or not. It's been reloading and stuff, so still can make the bigger move here. We'll see what happens there. NUWE. Going to my main account because I'm trying to trade here, guys. So I'll let you guys know how that NUWE trade works out. Of course, you guys can keep up with it. It's pulled back plenty of times, so it needs to go back to that 240s. That's really the trouble area where we came back above and then quickly sweep back down. All right, let's go ahead. Let's take a look here. NNE back towards 2290s. Will it get back there towards the 2350s? I'm looking for a recovery of VWAP here now. How's the SPY here? Looking out the gates, pull back out the gates here for the SPY. Let's go looking at the sectors and seeing what's moving. Financials to the upside, industrials to the upside, and cyclical down. Energy, basic materials, technology pulling back. So financials to the upside seem to make the most sense right now. Goldman Sachs, big push there. Morgan Stanley, big push there. XLF, seeming like one that could get a nice little lift off today. Already lifting in the pre-market, trying to break to maybe $50 today. So that's not a bad area to watch for. Maybe a 49.70 pullback here, but not a bad one to watch there. You can also trade these on a leverage basis with FAS. So FAS is a leverage financial trade here. So let's see if we can get some pullback on this FAS. Let's say back towards a trend line approach and then look to see if we can long it. So let's say back towards 164. I like it here. So I'll be watching for that pullback there. All right, we'll see if we get a pullback in FAS there as the Qs overall pulling back here out the gates there. So watch out for a little bit of a pullback there. AMD pulling back there. Definitely. Google, how's that? Google staying strong here, starting to approach that 181 here. I do like Google. It's on the playbook. So let's see if maybe I can play Google today on the upside. All right, so nice little push here. A couple times it's tried to push past this. So I'm looking for one more pullback back down to where it could try this trend line on the downside. Let's say back towards 180.50 here. But let's see if Google, they just take it and run. If not, I'll be having to look for a kind of 5-minute pullbacks to the VWAP. So on the 1 minute, that's the 1 minute pattern. The 5-minute patterns of VWAP test here towards 180.50. All right, let's stay on the 5 minutes. Let's try to use deeper time frames to find the trade today. So if I did a trend line approach, that's this trend line right here, and then it comes back in towards this like 180.70, 180.60 area. There's NUWE back towards 220s. So we'll see what happens with that one. It probably could cut me out. I mean, it's done the move there towards the 260s. Maybe got a little bit too picky today with that move. I was looking for the bigger move towards the 280s. Got a little picky there. Maybe should have just taken the money and run. Hey, we'll find out. All right, Google trying through that 181 now, 181.19. So Q's probably reversing here a little bit off that 515s. We'll look to see if that can continue to run here. If I look at what's leading the Q's, I see Grail as a smaller name there. And there's the stop out there on the 214s for NUWE, guys. So stopped out on that position. Definitely, hey, I don't think I played it the best way, but I tried to look for the bigger win and just didn't get it. We'll look to see if it goes back in the upside. Trade Desk, big move up there. Warner Brothers making a move towards the 938s. How's IonQ there? Got to go look at my swing trade to see how that starts to work out. See if this can go back towards the green here. It was red deep there. Let's see if it starts to come back there on IonQ. All right there, SPY overall. How we doing in the SPY? SPY starting to come back here, trying to reload on 600. So that's what I see right now on the SPY. Let's see if the SPY does that. If you're looking to play this on the upside, you can look at the SPXL as another way of playing the SPY, and that's, of course, a leverage play. So let's see if it recovers and starts making a move towards 184 and starts to push past. It did make a fake out towards 183.40s. We'll look to see if it comes back down. Whew, a lot of action today, guys. A lot of action. Looking at what's leading the SPY there. Salesforce on the upside, Wynn Resorts. So that looks like a Chinese name, getting a little bit of a lift there in the casinos. How are the Chinese names doing? Baba trying to make a little bit of a comeback there. How's LVS? If Wynn's doing well, LVS could do well also. Not a bad outlook here for recovery here on LVS after Wynn is doing some pretty good performance there. Big push there and Win today, man. That's a nice push there, all the way to 87.20s and continuing to push. LVS, we'll look to see if that goes to the 51s. NUWE stopped me out, could come back a little bit later, so I'll be keeping an eye on it, guys. I still don't think it's completely done, but it crossed over on the 5 minute, telling me to get out. It's okay. I took out the break-even stop. Now I'll be looking a little bit later to see if I can get it still for the big breakout. It just ran into that repeat seller, and that repeat seller showed back up there at the worst time when it was looking for like the 260s, 270 breakout. It's how it is, though. Got to continue battling. All right, good morning. Good morning. How we doing, FJF? NVIDIA is dumping. Maxen, says Steph. Let's take a look at Maxen. Solar name getting a nice little lift there. Got up there towards 1175. Definitely an expansion there on the 5 minute on the Bollinger Band. Pulling back now towards 11. We'll see if it goes back towards the VWAP 1060. It just made a trend line approach and ran right into it. So we'll see if it pulls back a little bit further and then makes a move here. I could see maybe a pullback closer towards like kind of the 1050, 1030 area, and then a comeback. We'll see what happens. It's definitely failing that 9 EMA hold right now. Let's see if it recovers it. Tesla continuing the strength back towards 348, 349. So it's trying to break into the 350s and continue. It did do a pullback towards the 342, but didn't get towards the 340s where I kind of would have liked it. But definitely held here. Let's see if it goes to the 350. Railroads going higher, and that tells me industrials, of course, and I see industrials at the top. So XLI continuing to hold there. Would Deere come back today, or maybe Cat? And you can see Cat back towards 400. So good move there in Cat. Let's see if it pulls back here to the 399 and Cat can start climbing back. So 399, interesting outlook here on Cat. There goes Tesla for the rip. Pakar now 115, so doing well there. Can Deere get back up there? I mean, it was down, down, down. We'll see if deer can start to climb back here. I played deer multiple times. It was hard, man. It was hard to play that one. I'll tell you guys that. BTBT showing up on my scanner. Look at that bad boy go to 530s there. Big push there in BTBT, guys. So that was one that we've been watching since $4. Big push there. Crypto name and a nice little move. BTBDR, so BitDeer. They're just looking for any Bitcoin name they can try to find there. Look at the rip out in BitDeer. Big push there to the 1080s. Could pull back to the 1040s, 1030s at some point. But the strength right now in those names tells me keep an eye out there, guys. Those names are strong, strong. Clean Spark reopened yet? No, man, it's still not reopened. What is going on there? Disaster. Disaster. All right, looking around Coin. How's that? Recover there. Quick recovery in those names today. So definitely a fast recovery there. Hive back up to the VWAP. Let's go to Hut. Hut towards 2230s. These have been strong. I could look for maybe a potential pullback here coming into play as they've been ripping to the upside. I could short it here on a quick play, guys, but that's so quick that you guys wouldn't even been able to see it there. I would have been able to short there, let's say 1072s, looking for the pullback to the VWAP, but that's a risky short. I'm not trying to short Bitcoin right now, but definitely pulling back. But we can look for the pullback to maybe come into play and then give us some opportunities. NUWE still trying to hold on and make a move. It just can't do it just yet. Let's take a look at that account and what happened there. Got out there for, it looks like a $2 loss. So down to 84 on the day. We'll see what happens. Oh, took a hit there on the swing account there. Max loss on the swing account today. Oof. Took a nasty hit there, guys. Look at that, guys. Down 133. Tried to take it on IonQ back to the upside. Should have kept the short on IonQ as IonQ down big today. Now, but it kept the swing trade short. This would have been a monster trade on the upside. I just tried to reverse my trade and paid the price for that today. But hey, that's how it is on the swing account, guys. It's a hard one to hold on. We'll see what happens there. Big takedown there in IonQ. So you could look for a fade in this. Hey, back to the VWAP, back to that red line. It's going to be looking good for a fade. IonQ dropping fast today, guys. And I had the swing on perfect. I cashed it this morning. Should have reopened it. Not reversing myself, staying towards the name. But then I saw a lot of Sam Altman's mentions with IonQ. And it was just a trap this morning. But hey, that's how it is, guys. Sold all my Bitcoin when it broke 70K. Why? I mean, it's how it is, Doug. But why were you selling it? That's how it is. I mean, it's okay. I mean, I sold my Bitcoin back in 2018, so it is what it is, guys. NUWE coming back down to 214, so it would have got me out anyways if I, let's say, gave it a penny or two. So it would have got me out right there. Not holding on there. We'll see if it goes back towards the 230s, 240s, but wash out there. Looking around at the scanners here to see what's making a move. I don't see much, especially from this morning. BTBT, is that continuing? There's the pullback there. We're getting some opportunities on the pullback now. SPY just made a quick move to the downside. Down she goes. VIX taking off here now towards 4460s. Let's see if we can get a pullback here. But big cut down there and some stocks going red there. Financials is going to probably pull back here with the industrials. Defensives are taking off, though. That's one thing that I notice here quickly here on the sectors. So that's one area that you can look to see some strength in today. Hershey's, Mondelez making a nice little push to the upside. Looks like those Halloween candies pushing strong. Household names, household personal products. Of course, Elf Beauty falls into that. What's up with Ulta today? Ulta is one that I'm still looking at for a nice little move back towards that 395 today. We'll see if it starts to make the move. 15-minute chart kind of holding in right now. I like the hourly, especially if it can go back through 390. So that's kind of the level to watch for on Ulta, back towards 390. It looks pretty good here. We'll look to see if it can continue on the day. SPY quick down there. That's definitely affecting Tesla on the downside, guys. As Tesla pulls back fast towards that 342, you're going to start seeing some sweeps on the downside here. If we can continue on the down, we'll see what happens. But Q's getting wiped there. VIX jumping fast here. Could take another leap here. I'm looking for some kind of pullback in it, but it's just going to maybe just a leap here. We'll see what happens. Quick pullback there in NNE, so it's deep red now, 2130s. So we'll look to see it. It's looking ugly right now, guys. It's looking like a quick pullback there. That's pretty ugly. We'll see if the banks go red. If the banks go red, that's when things really start to turn in XLI. But definitely quick pullback there. Tesla already bouncing a little bit off that 341. So eventually went to the 340 space. Maybe we're just playing this a little bit too close to the kind of the watch there. We'll see what happens. Q's trying to bounce there at the 513s, 50s. How do you guys feel about the downside coming in a little bit today? That's interesting for sure. Look to see if we get some pullbacks in the VXX. I don't mind playing a pullback in the VXX. If it comes back towards, let's say, 44.50s here, 44.40s. It does make sense here. Just needs to go ahead and pull back some. Could fill the gap, right? There's no reason why I can't go back to, let's say, 44.80s, 45. Tesla right back up and then right back down. So it's trying to make the move back towards the 346 and 347, but running into a little bit of some selling. And UWE trying to recover here. We'll see what happens on that one. Definitely got rid of it, but still holding on is NUWE. All right, what do you guys like out there looking around? I've been crypto mining since 2012. Never sold any of it until now. Well, I mean, Doug, that's a little different than, hey, if you made your money, Doug, you made your money. Don't look back at it like hindsight 2020. It's okay. I mean, you made your money if you've been mining for that long. Seeing the Qs start to come back there as the Qs try to make the little bounce and then reject there. We'll see if it does another takedown here. VXX holding on right now. I'm still looking to see if it pulls back some. It's not pulling back much. It's just kind of going sideways here. SUGP coming back here, trying to make a little bit of a comeback on this one. We'll see if it starts to get hot through $2. SUGP starting to turn around there in the small names. If you guys are looking at some of the small names, let me know. I'll be watching for them. Here's that move there, starting to come back here. It doesn't look too bad as it starts to recover that 175, but needs to get up there at least to $2 before I even think about it. Q struggling, another down move there. So the VXX looking interesting here for an entry. I'm going to try to take it here. All right, guys, just took an entry there, long on the VXX as I see the Qs make another down move. We'll see if Tesla can come back there, but definitely the VIX trying to do a little bit of an up move here. Will the Qs continue the strength, or will we see some final red action on the market today? Down goes the Qs, down to the 513, so that looks good there for me. I'm looking to potentially add right now on the VXX here at the 4440s here. Just looking for a little bit more dip here and then a takeoff back towards the highs. Let's see what happens. All right, it's already getting some buying action here, so I might just jump off the 50s here and take a shot. All right, there's the shot there, guys. I started to see the action buying coming in here. Let's see if it really wants to make the move, push back there towards the 4470s. Of course, I was able to make a really nice trade on the VIX on Friday, so let's see if I can make another good trade here. Looking to see if the Qs can come down a little bit further and the SPY can come down. Of course, the SPY is a little bit stronger than the Qs, I feel like. So let's see what happens here in the SPY. Q is still weak there. SPY a little bit stronger because it has the financials a little bit bigger, right? In those names, those are some of the names that are holding things up, and some of the defensive area that's holding things up. So I'm watching those spaces to see if they get weak, because if they get weak, then yeah, we'll come down. But if they can stay strong, we can kind of push back. Financials staying strong, industrial staying strong, defensive staying strong, utilities staying strong. Where are we red? We're red in technology. That's what's really taking the hit here. So got to be careful here. But the VIX is trying to get a little bit of a jump here. We'll see if it starts to push. There's a takedown for me instead. So we're going to hold it tight here, looking for a little bit of a quick sweep here in the VIX. There, I'm up 80, up 100 now. Looking for the push back into the 60s here. There goes the VIX a little bit higher there. So looking good on my action, but I got to continue watching because the market's kind of going against it there. There's the 55s now, looking good here. Let's see if we can start to push here. Tesla coming back up, so that's what gives me a little bit concerned that I'm seeing just a fake right here. Starts to push back. Coming back on me. I might have to just take the money and run here. I'm going to take a tight risk here, about 20 bucks here, and just look to see if it can take off here. Really just watching the action really closely. There it goes for a little bit of a stronger move there. Tesla coming back, though. Still keeping me on alert. 56, 57s. Let's see if we just take it here and the Qs just drop. Show you there on the Qs there. Qs going down through that 512s. But still getting thinner, so they could reverse, right? So just looking to see if the MACD doesn't cross back over. Look how it's getting tighter and tighter. It could cross back here. Let's see what happens here. Taking a quick shot here, guys. All right, they're looking good here. Now I can go for the move here. Let's see it. Tesla's coming back, so I'm going to go ahead and put a stop break even here. So I'm either going to make money or lose it. Right here, I'm up 110, but I put a break even stop there just to make sure if it just doesn't sweep back on me here. But let's see if it just rips above here on the VIX here. Looking good on that first action on the Qs here, on the down here. There we go. Looking good on that first spike there into the 60s here. Up 230s here. It might just take some quick cash and then to see what happens here. Let's see if we can get a quick little spike here. All right, putting out an order to sell to the 44.80s here. Looking for a little spike and then a quick sell here. Nothing happening right now. Pulling off of it right now. Q's going down there. Let's see if the SPY heads down there. Now we'd look to see if the SPY breaks the low. SPY heading to the low. That looks good there. Just needs to take it now. On the VIX, let's see if it takes the VIX to the upside, breaks the high. The high is 70 right now. All right, let's see it here. Got the chance to go for the break here. Seeing Tesla recovery though, that's where I get a little bit concerned. I have the stop loss grabbed here so I could take maybe some profits here, if anything. Watching the action off the 9 EMA here. I think it's more about the SPY here than even the Qs. Holding break even on it right now. SPY, will you break the 599 going on the downside, or will you reverse back towards 600? This is what I'm watching for, guys. All right, we'll see what happens out there. How we doing, traders? It's not been a bad day to start it off. Right now, we're getting a little bit of some downside pullback action. Looking around, mainly the leak is in technology, financials to the upside, industrials to the upside. So those are names that are looking strong. The crypto names were strong. I'm sure seeing their pullback now. Of course, overall market action, very important to watch because that could actually ruin some of that trade. And what do I mean by ruining it is that overall there's correlation to the overall market. At some point, if the market keeps dumping, it starts to turn other trades. Right now, it's not a dump, it's just a turnaround. So we're looking to see how much of a turnaround are we having? How much of a pullback are we having today? Are we going to see more leak? So you can see it on my chart here, the MACD. Will that light blue line go back down here, or will it cross back over the yellow? That could be the reversal back and the bulls take control, or the expansion back down is the light blue line going lower. All right, good push here on the SPY. The first action here, guys, might take the profit into this move here, at least take some into that action there. So let's see if I can go ahead and do that. Looking to see a little spike here and take half off here at least. Just trailing it with the stop loss now, trying to get a nice little push here. Little pullback there. Just got to be careful now. It just pulled back there, was up about 400. Looking to at least take 100 on this, but looking for the bigger break towards, let's say, $500, $600 win right here. SPY coming back, though. That tells me to put me on alert, so could have to take the cash and then look to see if I reload. All right, it's trying to go for the next break here. Let's see if the SPY comes right back down. It's holding the 9. That 9 EMA, that light blue line right now is a big spot for me. Watching on the 5-minute on the VIX, looking for that to keep pushing. Really would like to get out at the 57s if it starts to turn around on me. Here comes the SPY for that move for the breakdown. Will it give me that 599 breakdown here, or will it go back towards the 600? So you can see how the MACD is trying to show you that we're coming back. There's been 1, 2, 3 attempts to break that 599. This is going to be a big spot here. 10 a.m. Let's see what happens, traders. Big spot to watch here as the stocks start to come back a little bit. All right, here comes the SPY coming right back down here. Just tried to make the attempt back through the 9. Let's see if it takes an attempt through the downside on the 599 here. Here comes 599.16, 599.12s, and it recovers there. So nice little kind of harmy candle, tells us potential reversal coming. Let's see if the body stays on the bottom end of that body. That tells us more weakness coming in here. Now the Qs are the VIX trying to push there towards 300. So might have to take the money and run here if I see the reversal come quickly here. Looks good for the next push here. Let's see if we get it. SPY, break 599. Let's go. Gonna break it. Here comes that approach here. See if we can get one more expansion higher through that 70s. I could see it getting to 44.80s and then turning back, but it's coming right now against me now. So the SPY trying to turn around to the upside here. Here comes that attempt here, guys. Going to have to hold break even here just because of the way that the trade's setting up here. It's either the SPY comes back down and gets me out, or it starts to break down here. So it tried to do a little bit of a wick test on me on the VIX. So I would have got caught right there. Right there, I would have got caught there. So I would have put it at 57 and I would have got triggered on this and taken the 150. So, hey, maybe hindsight 2020, the 150 is looking better. But watching the action, it's gone up there 1, 2, 3 times. If it can get up there one more time, I think we can get that attempt here. Let's see if the SPY, though, comes down. That's what I really see is the important thing. The Qs are staying weak. So it's more that the SPY join the party and make another leg on the downside through the 599. So let's see what happens here. 599 approaching. Will it break through that 599? Oh, and it's getting close to getting me out break even. I got to give it at least a penny here, because if not, it could get me out. And then all of a sudden the SPY actually does make the move. Oof, this is a tough one, guys. I'm risking about 20 now because the way that the setup is. Here's that 599. What will happen here? 599 approaching there. You can see here how it came back there trying to get me out. Oh, I just stopped at my trigger there. Oh, man, come on. That's a tough one, guys, because the SPY could still dump on the 599, but it just recovered some there at the 599. Literally 598, 98, 99. That's how it goes sometimes, guys. That's the level right now. The reversal could come right back in here, and it could be quick. So let's see what happens. It's still weak, though. So just didn't get the expansion there. Could have sold for maybe 300, 400. That's probably the move here. Need to start taking a little bit more of a smaller amount. But the problem there is that my risk is normally around 170 to 300. So I try to get towards like 2 to 1 at least, which is a 600. It was closer to there. At the 800, you start getting in the 500 to 600 range. So watching the action here to see if we get another leg down, or do we get the reversal back to the VWAP. That could easily come back in, and Tesla could come back roaring. So I think that's what we're watching a little bit right now. AMD, to see if this comes back. There's some names that are pretty weak here in technology. The strong names have stayed strong though. GS. So the banks are staying strong here. Bank of America, XLF, now to 50. So it did make that move to 50 and continuing the strength. SPY now trying to make that break towards the 599. I don't know, honestly, which way to call it. I can just tell you guys that that's the pattern right here. So we'll see what happens. Will this kind of break down through that pattern, or will it reverse back to the upside? You got both sides of the trade right now. Trade could still break down there. VIX trying to hold the VWAP there. So it's going for more of a kind of approach on the 5-minute here. So you can see an up 1, down 1, up 2, down 2, up 3, down 3, trying to hold this VWAP and then start making a comeback. But SPY now approaching that 599 breakdown here. Let's see what happens. Just got me out last time. Will it go for an actual breakdown here? Tesla just dumped there. I'm going to take a shot here, guys. So just longed a little bit there. Need to see that 599s hold underneath here. It's just a fake out again here. Let's see what happens. I mean, it's really tight. The key there, I saw the dump there on Tesla. That's a key stock to hold right now for the bulls. So watching the action right now, only have 1,000 shares in. Looking for this to climb back here, but it's all about this kind of takedown here. Does it reject it here, or does it come right back to the 9? There's that first rejection. Can we get the actual breakdown now? A little weakness, but not much, guys. Not much weakness at all. That's where I feel like just cutting out. It's like, man, the breakdown's there. The pattern's there, but it doesn't want to break down. Come on, SPY. What you going to do? Q's trying to come back now, and that's another concern now is the Q's get kind of slower down. It could just bounce here. So ugly open for the Q's though. That's one thing I'll say. Tesla, you see it back at 340. So that's kind of like let's say a swing outlook, a look there off the 340s. 15-minute chart could recover that a little bit later, right? So you're looking at the 15-minute chart trying to recover that 340s. We'll see if it recovers it. Just wanted to show you guys that nice little setup there in Tesla right now. So it's been an ugly red day already, guys. At least down 65 here in the main account, which is not much. But the market did open up to the downside here. Let's see if it continues to the downside here. Or will it reverse right back? The 15-minute could come back to that 514. So keeping an eye on it. SPY now towards 598.88. Will it do a down move here? It's setting up for it. There's the first action there. Will it actually break here? There's a big cut down on the Tesla. So finally getting a pullback day. All right, guys, I'm stepping up to the plate here. Just added there on the VXX. Let's see if it takes a little bit of a takeoff back towards the 4470s. And then really it needs to take off towards like 45. So just taking a quick trade here. We'll see what happens. Look how quickly I go into the red there too. That was wicked on the SPY there. Let's see if it takes that bottom back. I'm looking for the VWAP approach back here. But if it doesn't hold that, then definitely got to let go back. But looking at the action there on the Qs too, then seeing a little bit of a bottoming action on that. So if you're looking for things to start working its way back, I'd be keeping an eye on it to see what's starting to work back. Apple is one to keep an eye on. It's still red. Microsoft still red there. Tesla. See, the big names are still pretty hit hard here. So some of them need to start turning around there because they just own the market essentially. These big tech names. We'll see if it's able to actually start to bounce back. Tesla trying to recover. It went down to 338, starting to bounce back a little bit. Q's now bouncing back. So it's just back and forth action here right now. It was a nice pullback area, but the VIX didn't really give me that gain there. I should have already been at least taking some gain there. Maybe the 151 that we talked about, right? That's what the little setup there. We'll see if it does break the Bollinger Band on the downside here. That's probably a good sign for me that I need to get out. Q's trying to come back there. SPY is coming back a little bit there, but just rejected the 599 to get back. But if it scoops it up again, watch out because it could start being some strength back into the market. So that's kind of the cut down area to look for. A recovery of that 9 EMA back towards 599. You're going to get some strength coming back for the bulls. Let's see what happens here. Does it reject it or recover? All right, looking around GME. All right, you're long Tesla from here. Get after it, man. GME has been one that's been making a move as of late. I don't know why, but it has been. And that's one to keep an eye out on, like kind of a weekly approach. You can see how the strength is there. We'll see if it actually makes a run. I mean, by the time you look at it, it could be ways away from here. So it's not a bad one to watch. The strength is there. NUWE, man, that thing's still hanging out there, guys. It still could make a comeback, that NUWE. So I'm keeping a very close eye on it. And I'm probably going to set up a trade here for the smaller account to try to grab it if it starts to break. Watching the action on this thing, and the 15-minute chart still looks good if it can approach back towards like 240s, but there's been such a repeat seller in the 240s. It's really hard to hang on to this NUWE. It's one to watch for sure. Max End has been strong and hot. That thing's continued to strength. Steph all over that. So shout out to Steph in the chat. I know she mentioned, I know it was mentioned there. Look at that 11 recovery. Nice recovery of 11. Nice push back towards that. Now almost towards 12. So big push there. Shout out to you guys if you guys nailed max end today. GDC, big stock there, at least in the smaller names. It's been continuing on the upside. All right, going back to the main account, back and forth action today, guys. Now it's starting to get wiped out a little bit here on this VIX trade. Of course, it's getting towards my wrist right now on my max risk, which is 300. And there it goes. So, oof, took an eye off of it for just a second here. Getting that big hit there. Might get wiped out here towards the 44.15. That's going to be a 500 hit on the downside here and could be down back towards like 152 on this account down. Started the day up like towards 300, 400 as I bounced back yesterday or on Friday. But I've been back and forth on this account, up about 1,000, down about 800. So just been back and forth on this one. We'll see if it comes ramping back. I literally got it on the low right there. So through that low, I'll get cut out. All right, guys, bouncing back a little bit, but it's probably going to get hit me here. And it's just been one of those days where the market just came back down on an hourly and now starting to come back. So if you looked at hourly positions back, those are going to be looking interesting. Coin 300 held to a key there. So that looks good there on coin. 300, nice looking level there on coin. So you could get those crypto names to start looking a lot better now. Mara with a big break of 23. That looks good there. Riot towards 15. So all these stocks starting to look really good there. Cypher, mining right at 750s. Could start making a push towards the 775s. This one doesn't look bad to maybe trade in some of the smaller names, right? So doesn't look too bad there. Another one to look for, maybe BTBT. There he goes, 542. So those are still looking pretty good there. HUT, 2337s, really starting to climb on the daily. So big move there in the crypto miners. Clean Spark back yet? I don't think it is, man. Oh, I'm so upset that one came off the board, man. Or what the hell is going on in Clean Spark? I have no idea. But man, that one was doing well also. IREN doing well there, 1266, really pushing. We'll see what happens. SPY is still red. Still red on the 15-minute. It's crazy, but it's still red. So I think there's just a little bit of some mixed noise out there right now. A little bit of some battle. But I think that it could still go green on the day on the SPY because the financials continue to climb unless that really drops fast. That's where the trade becomes a little bit weird. Technology is starting to climb back there. Affirm, big breakout in Affirm, guys. That's one stock that I've missed to tell you guys about today that I'll be upset that I missed telling you guys. That's a nice breakout there in Affirm. Big push there on Affirm up there. 15-minute chart continues to push on the upside. That could mean another move for Upstart. Upstart continuing to 84. So this one looking good there. On Friday, I brought this one up as a good trade, and this opened up at 65, ended up trading all the way to 82. Now it's continued the strength here with Affirm's move, as Affirm was the reason why I looked at Upstart in the first place. Now holding the 80. Big push there to 83.50. And what space is this in? It's in the credit space. So maybe SoFi also doing well there. There's 1420. So SoFi doing well there. Those sectors and industries doing well. And maybe stocks and trades that I should have been looking more at today. Taking a hit there on the VXX. Too many hits there, man. Just not trading well today, guys. Not seeing it well. Not executing well. Not being fast enough. And that happens. Tesla to the moon. Go Tesla. Go Tesla off the 240s. We'll look to see if it comes right back up there. A nice hourly low there off the 340 recovery. So looking good there. Looking good, my friend. Market mischief. You're looking good. Let's see what happens. All right. Been in crypto mining. Oh, I already read that comment. All right, guys. What's going on with you guys out there? Definitely isn't the best day for me right now on the VXX. I'll tell you that much. And what gets me a little upset is I was up about like 410 a little earlier, not executing on the profits, not executing on the action there. And now it's starting to recover. That's just the way it goes, guys. So, hey, SPY still trying to recover that 599. Can it get back through that and go to 600 today? Yes, it could still do it. Bath and Body Works doing well there. Financial services continuing to the upside. Goldman Sachs back at VWAP. So that's our names that you guys can look at. And of course, a part of the financial space is just getting lifted because of those Bitcoin names. Those fall under there. So HUT, you have Lemonade making a big move today. So there's some other names. Riot pushing. BTBT, right? A lot of these kind of making the nice move there. CIFR still available off that 750s. We'll look to see if it goes to the 775s. It's not a bad looking trade right now. HIMS is in a good alert there, guys. So of course, Trump presidency could help HIMS, and he talked about how he wanted to go against big pharma. So if you could see healthcare later in the day take a big hit. So I'm watching to see if healthcare takes a big hit. It hasn't taken it, but HIMS is taking the upside on that. Nice little VWAP pullback today, 26.59s, right back towards the 28s. That was a good pullback. It was a pullback about $1.35, already back up about $1.18. So good trade there on HIMS if you guys nailed that. You'll be out at 344.82. Not a bad one. Not a bad trade at all. All right, we'll see what happens there on Tesla. Let's go back to the limited account. Just not feeling it on the main account today. Let's go to the limited. Let's see what I can find there. Tesla coming down a little bit there. And the VIX still coming back. It's just one of those days where I feel like I should have just cashed the early trade, and then I could have used that cash to go for the later trade, which could still be a takedown of the SPY 599 because it doesn't want to recover there for some reason. Something's fighting it there. We'll see what happens. All right, let's go to some other one here. NUWE, right? That was the one that I was looking at earlier. Let's see if it starts to make the move finally. All right, seeing some order flow start to come in there off the 222s. Been waiting to see if this could get back above, especially hold now this 215 on the downside. So that's kind of the out, the 215, 214 level. You guys remember I was actually in at 214. So looking to see if this can really start to get the move. It's starting to get some volume, but look at this seller here, the 229s. This is that repeat seller that I keep talking about. It keeps running into here where we just keep running into that repeat seller. But it's just hard to get through him. It's a big order, 21,000 shares, 900. So definitely just buying and selling on people today. I see it, but there's also the big bids right there, 217, 215, right? So let's see what happens here. I think some traders are trading this back and forth. Can it make another move? I have to wait and find out, but looks interesting here. Tesla back down to the 342, testing the support. Con L now getting the move here, guys. Granite share is ripping high today. Looking around to see what else is making a move here. GOEV, Canoe. So this is an auto manufacturer trying to hold the 55-cent spot, make a move back towards 60. See what happens on that. ETHU. Ether coming back there. This ETHU. I was looking at this one, guys. It doesn't look too bad as it starts to recover. The hourly recovery through 8 was what I was looking for. I already missed that hourly recovery through 8, but doesn't mean that it can't take off from here. It looks interesting, this ETHU. Of course, this is a leverage Ethereum trade, so we'll see what happens on that one. It is a little bit too high to kind of jump up here, but on the daily, but doesn't matter about running it on the intraday action. So I'd like to see a little bit of a pullback back towards like 810 to risk off the 8s, but it's continuing to climb here. ETHU giving me a little bit of an alert. It looks to me like an hourly long pullback, right? That like it's just playing that pullback on the hour, trying to come back here towards the 850s and make that push to 9. We'll see if Ethereum can make another run today. All right, let's go back to the market here. SPY now down to 598.77. The VIX coming back a little bit there. It's still looking ugly though. Tesla holding that 341 right now. Can it get back up there? The 15-minute looks a little heavy. Monday down big today, guys. That earnings does not look good there. FSIL down big. How's AppLovin doing? Ooh, that looks like a nice fade opportunity here. That one's fading away after the big move in the last kind of action there, guys. Nice little fade action today in AppLovin. So it's trying to break back towards kind of the 277, but I could see it going back towards like the 270s here, maybe 264s. So that's about $10 down there. We'll see what happens on AppLovin, but it looks good there for maybe even a potential swing back to the downside. I just don't have money in the swing account right now, but hey, we'll see what happens there on App. Ether trying to continue back that ETHU. BTBT pulling back there. Mara up there towards 2350s. So big push there. We'll see if we get some pullback. NUWE not wanting to make the breakout. So I think that's just one that just might not do it today, guys. 15-minute chart now starting to look like it's going to cross back over. So that's not looking good there. We'll see if it actually makes a move eventually. All right, just still looking around out there, guys. GDC holding the 215. We'll see if it makes another move to the upside. That got up there to 250. MaxN back towards 11.99. Trying to break 12 there. Tesla back to 343. That's looking good to start to push to the upside. So if you got that 340 pullback that we talked about in the pre-market, the 15-minute chart looked good there. I didn't play it, but that was the play. That looked like a good play there. There's some downside in NUWE, so not going to go ahead and play that, at least for the time being. We'll see if it starts to come back, but right now, does not look like it's coming back anytime soon. There's Tesla starting to take the upside, so that's going to make the Qs start to look a little bit better here, and the Qs start to prop off the 513. So that looks actually not a bad outlook here. We'll start to see if some other ones start to make a push here. Grail with a little bit of a push. Monster Beverage getting a little bit of a push. Did Celsius finally start to reverse? Still not a move there. Monster going strong though today. Coke going strong with the defensive move. Let's take a look at Colgate Palmolive. That's doing all right there. How's Ulta doing? Ulta holding that 390 after, holding 388 after pushing the 390s. Talked about the daily level. Could you get back there towards the 394.49s? That's kind of the level I'm looking for Ulta to start to break out through the 400 in the next, let's say, week or two. All right, we'll see what else is out there, guys. Tesla, you're out. Hey, we'll see what happens. CleanSpark is trading up. Oh, it finally opened. Yeah, it finally opened, guys. All right, so I'm going to CleanSpark, guys. I'm going to go try to trade this with the main account. Normally, I wouldn't, but hey, let's go see if we can get it here. Actually, yeah, let's go to the main account. That's where we should be trading that. Right now, it's kind of holding in there, but it did just show up on scanners, so a lot of people are going to be taking a look at this. The only thing, though, is it just came from 1625 all the way to 1670s. So keep that in mind. This thing just opened up and made a fast move here. Man, this thing's already pushing here, guys. I'm trying to play it, but it's a hard play right now. I'd like to see a pullback back towards 16 here, but it might just break out through the 17. See if we can get a pullback back towards 16. That's the play for me on CleanSpark here. Not moving much. But man, when this opened up, it opened up good. It was at 10:15. I was looking at it. I didn't see much movement, and then all of a sudden it was open. Of course, this was trading at 13.50, so for it to open at 15, I mean, that's still pretty high already. I remember when I was looking at this, and this was at $10. That was on Tuesday at 10.76. Man, that thing's 66% higher from there. What a move. All right, we'll see if we get the pullback there back towards 16. That's kind of the layer that I'd like to play. So we'll see if we get that pullback. For right now, I'm switching off of it. Let's see if it'll pull back to 16 in a little bit here. Set an alert there to let you guys know. Mara also slowing down a little bit there. We'll look to see if we get some pullback. Strong Digital Mining, SDIG. I haven't known that one, but hey, they're all making the move today, it seems like. NUWE down she goes. So that one's not holding on, guys. So not seeing much in the smaller names right now. It's all in the crypto names. So that's what I see at least. There's Sugar P, SUGP. Trying to come back through $2, but outlook on this one maybe gets back towards 260s, 250s. Doesn't look too bad, but the volume, man, it needs some more volume. It's too low a volume, this SUGP. Tesla love. Yeah, I see the love out there. What's going on out there, traders? Smash the like. Let's keep it moving. We buy. Spirit Airlines getting a little bit of a lift today. That's interesting to see. You can see it here, guys. This actually doesn't look too bad there on the daily chart. Save Airlines, Spirit Airlines. I know I hate it, but man, it looks like it's starting to come back to 3 and could break out towards 325. Doesn't look too bad. It's pushing off the 284s. We'll look to see if it can get to $3 today, but I don't know, man. This could be a play within itself, right? I mean, I'd like to see a pullback to 280s here, but looks pretty good there. Save. And Delta doing really well today. Surf Air Mobility. Airlines doing pretty decent, man. How's the leisure trade too? NCLH recovering today. It was strong. Has started to pull back. RCL continuing the strength though. Oof. All right, getting a little bit of a pullback there in Clean Spark, but not far enough there. It went back to 1630s. It's right on the VWAP, so could play it off to 1650s here, but was looking for a little bit of a dip down back towards the 16s. Not getting it. Maybe a little bit too tight here, but nice little VWAP attempt there on the pullback off the 617s. Back to 1654s here. Will it take the 17 move? That's 50 cents higher. Doesn't look too bad there. Recovered the 9. Let's see it. Affirm, one of the strongest names right now. This thing made a huge move to 53. What a run. What a run in Affirm, guys. That looks like some topping action, though, right off of that action there. So 52.90s. Tried to get back through 53s. Just got washed through here. So definitely starting to turn around the strength there on Affirm. Let's see if it can come back to this level. I wouldn't mind to take a short on this, but this would be main account trade. This is not like a smaller trade by any means necessary. Affirm, will it pull back? Has a nice little setup there. Let's see it here. I'll take a small amount, just trying to make some money back today. All right, short 200 there, short 200 shares. Just trying to take it small here. This is not really kind of a crazy trade, but it's just something to make some money back here. We'll see if we're able to get it back there. It's like $100 in this. Put the stop there, 53.21. So just got to know where I need to get out if it comes back. This is about 4 runs and then it's a turnaround. So this is just kind of like a wave theory kind of play. And then a break of the 9 EMA. So the momentum dying out, coming back to the Bollinger Band or the VWAP. So those are the two options on the pullback. There's a cut down to the 55s, the 60s. I could add here. Normally I would if I was like, not deep red. That's where I start to take the big sizing approach and start to really take a break even approach. So I might just go for that, but just the key is you got to go break even once you do that. So. She's trying to recover already, just put me in the red. So let's see if it comes back for that 52.50. The strength there, though, in the firm. What a move today, guys. What a move. Trying to create kind of a head and shoulders approach here on the 1 minute, but definitely won't let it through the kind of the 53.20s here. Need to see it reject 53s here. Here's 53 approaching right now. Let's see if it rejects it. There's 53.07. Could stop me out here at the 53.23s. Coming for me. We'll see if it takes me out. Still looking in the smaller names, trying to find something that's getting a bigger move here. AZI is one that I'm looking at right now. It just recovered 3. This one was moving in the pre-market. Could make a little bit of a move off 3. But I just don't know where this one's going, right? Because the chart is ugly. SGN. Smaller names starting to get a little bit of a move there, but not much. Nicola. Lucid. All right, there it is, guys. Just got cut on that one. A firm getting me out right near the turn of that top there. But a firm, big, strong day, guys. Just not feeling it, man. It's just not my day there on the main account. Kind of a little bit of a mixed kind of day because now we're pulling back here. You still haven't really recovered the VWAP, but yet there's still some names in the green. It's just what I call rotation day, where the rotation went to the financials and the industrials to the upside, and now technology is going to play a little bit of a catch-up. We'll see what happens on CAT if it can recover 400. Deer, I'm looking at it at 397s. XLI is one way to play that industrial move higher. That's held. Let's take a look at the financials. Trying to hold the $50 pullback there on XLF in this ETF. So that's what I see out there right now. Had a bad one with PWM, but got some back with MaxN. Hey, that's how it is sometimes. I'm glad I got out of that PWM. How'd that one end up doing? Oh, back down to 81. So glad I got out of that one earlier. It was a tough looking one. It was setting up too. So a lot of some fake outs lately on NUWE. It was a good looking move and then just didn't go. Tesla, man. Tesla was a good call on that pullback. Got to play those 15-minute pullbacks sometimes. But this was wicked action on the down dip where it dipped back through 337 and then comes back to 347. This is one thing that I've noticed in Tesla is that you have to give yourself more of that daily range on the ATR. So we're going to take a learning lesson here. Of course, it's 10:35, so we still got a little bit of time here, but let me show you guys a little bit of some learning lesson action there. And that's the biggest thing with Tesla is that when the average true range is expanding, we got to be careful with this thing because the average true range has been expanding all the way up there almost to 7 points. So with that being said, can you handle 7 points of volatility? That's what happened here, right? So like if you're getting in there at 340s and you get the right sizing in that you can say, hey, can I risk like $7 there? $7 is all the way down to the 330s, right? So what's the sizing that I need to do so that I can risk that much and look for the bigger breakout move above the 350, right? So That's what you needed to do if you're trying to play these Tesla moves. And a lot of them are hourly long pullbacks, right? You can see a push up, pull back to support, and then holds that. That's what we're seeing in a lot of the Tesla moves. At some point, this could break the 9 and start to pull back. But right now, it went right through it and recovered that. That gave you what? Risk to return. You were risking maybe, let's say, $5 there at the 340s towards the 30-35 for a move back towards 350. Good day there for Tesla. Did Nvidia come back? It's working its way. It's working its way back. Still hasn't completely come back. It's right on the VWAP right now. We'll look to see if it fades back. But SPY overall, though, starting to climb back to the 599.45. Did make that attempt to 598.60s there. And that's a little frustrating because normally when we get that action, we do get the real fade. And it just seems today like there is a fade, but it's kind of really slow on the market. And I think right now we just got to continue to watch to see what happens in the Qs, because the Qs could still reject here back to 512. GDC trying to get moving off the 220s. Can this one get another lift? Find out, guys. The 15-minute chart still holding pretty well here on GDC. Just needs to approach back there towards a 248, 250 move. We'll see if it's able to hold on there. Big level to watch is this 220 holding on the pullback, and it's holding it pretty well right now. Trying to approach for the breakout here. Let's see if it starts to approach back there, 230s, 245s, and starts to make a move in GDC. Not really my top name, but definitely something that I'm looking at in the market that's moving. All right, looking around to see if there's anything else that points out to me, that stands out to me. Save has pulled back there, but just continuing to go now, almost to 3. Warner Brothers got up there to 950s today. I was looking at it this morning at 925, thinking about playing it. Wouldn't have been a bad move there. It's trying to start making its comeback. Disney reports later this week. I talked about, would it get to the 100 space? Ding, ding, ding. It's in that 100 space. So this is where I think like it's just running into the earnings. And at that point, it's probably already done. We created this on October 30th, updated it on the 31st. Would it make the run? Yeah, it made the run. But of course, off the earnings, it was kind of hard to play this because you were expecting to see what would happen after the election. You didn't really know it'd be up here. All right, close my Tesla a little bit early. It happens. It happens. Out from CleanSpark long. Let's go take a look at CleanSpark. All right, CleanSpark 1666, 1670s now. Looking good off that VWAP pull. It pulled back there, got the strength. Now can go for the 17 love. We'll see if it gets up there to the 17. It looking good there. Mara continuing towards 2370s. Strong move there. ETHU up there now towards 840s. I was looking at this one in the pre-market to see if it'd do an hourly long pullback back towards the levels here. 778, 8 looked good. It went right back to 8, recovered to 840s. Could end up the day by 9. Not a bad looking name there, ETHU. BTM, Bitcoin Depot. Getting a little bit of a lift here. It was up in the pre-market, now continuing back to pre-market high. Will it actually get a big move? Not sure on that one. NNE back down to 21s. Didn't expect to see this takedown today. So this is actually an approach that could be a better approach on the daily. Back towards like 2040s looks better. But right now, it's just sideways and down action on NNE. Save doing well there, going for 3. Rivian going for the 11. I talked about how the autos could do well today, and Rivian looking good here, guys. Look, Rivian's looking good. It's looking good for like the swing trade action too. Nice little push here. Nice push on Rivian today, guys. And that tells me maybe looking at Ford and GM wasn't a bad idea. I talked about it in the pre-market. GM higher there, 57. That looks good there. Stave just broke through 3, so I know a lot of traders were probably watching that. The daily chart looking good as it starts to break above that 290s, up there to 304s. Could take 330s today. This one's not a bad maybe scalp opportunity. I missed it there. I had it at the 285s earlier. Could have gone for it. Was looking for maybe a 280 pullback, but now 305s, right? There was scalping ability there. That's almost $10, right? So 10%. So it's not a bad move there. Save now starting to push 305. Can he get it back up there? Resistance 310, 311, and could keep pushing. So the airlines looking good. The Jets ETF is another way to maybe play airlines to the upside, and that's looking pretty good on the day already. So airlines have been taking off since August. Well, JetBlue get a little bit of a lift there off of this. It just pulled back to the 640s. Couldn't go back to the 650s. Started approaching a little bit of some comeback. Of course, JetBlue mentioned with all that save kind of thing, and who knows what might happen now. Interesting one to maybe take a bigger bet for a little bit of a scalp type of play. So thinking about taking the bet off the 640s, looking for a push back to 650s, but not the biggest upside outlook, right? It's about 10 cents. LEDS finally found the smaller one that's getting a little bit of a move here. It's a semiconductor. Let's see what happens with this one. It's a dollar name, though. So going to take a look at the action to see where this one can go. Maybe back towards 160. I don't see too much. This thing loves to pop and drop, so I don't know if this is the one here. There's the setup there off the 150 recovery, maybe back towards the pre-market 173, but it's only 20 cents higher here. You got to be careful. The risk is only about 7 cents also, so the sizing that's going to be needed for this is going to be massive. See what happens. LEDS really showing up on the scanners there. Looking to see the volume in it. It has 1 million. It's not too bad. TVGN looking a little bit better here. At least a biotech, but the 15-minute chart looks good, but the longer term chart also not giving me many targets on the upside. This is at least a break above this 130. Could start getting hot around the 150. Don't know where it goes after that, but look at the daily. This has pulled back significantly. See the volume that it just got. A pretty significant volume lift. TVGN up there to 139, 140s, but it's only a 10-cent pop. LEDS now up there to the 160s. This one was moving there, but it just didn't seem like it had so much like kind of juice. Let's say that. So the 170s could come up quickly there in LEDS, but they're at least starting to get some moves out there, guys. So definitely some of the smaller names starting to wake up there. Now 165 there on LEDS on that push. At least the scanners caught it quickly. All right, guys, it's 10:45. I'm going to wrap up in just about 5 minutes here. There's not much going on for me, but let's keep pushing. Not sure why you can't hold GDC in the watch list, but I'm not sure about that. That's more into like the coding. I'm not sure what's going on there. NUWE just crashing, man. Not seeing much, guys. Not seeing much. All right, and Q back towards the VWAP. Will it fade right back down? This looks like a fade opportunity. I mean, it definitely looks like a fade opportunity. Of course, we'll see if it fades right back down. This is a classic trade, guys, where it rejects this line and then comes back down here towards the kind of the washout from earlier. So it doesn't look too bad there. It could take the trade here off the $223 spot. At least take something today, right? Trying to let this hit 23s one more time and then look to see if it starts to go red candle. All right, 23s showing up here. Not short just yet. Looking at this kind of 9 EMA where it's working off of. Let's see the MACD. Still hasn't crossed over either. There's some weakness coming back in. All right, taking a little bit there, guys. Took 100 shares there. Nothing massive, small to start. Want to add to this position. This is in the limited account. Normally, not really kind of more of a stock that I trade. I've been trying to trade more the penny names, but there's not much penny names there that I see that are moving today. So I'm going to take a little bit of this trade and see what happens. Of course, got to stick it tight on this account. This is a smaller account, so don't want to risk much on the first action here. I'm going to risk like $20 here on the first action. Look to see it not get back above the 23.11s and then come right back down. So really looking for it to reject the 23s and then come back down. It could come back to like 23.15s and then make the move. But the key here is to be small. And then once I get the dump, yeah, that's when I want to start adding in here. Back to the spot there. Now we've been above 23s, what? 23 once, 23 twice, 23 three times. The fourth time is the charm, I like to say. 3 tries is usually meaning what? 3s is good luck. 4s is bad luck there. So if it doesn't do that 4 move there, we'll look for a add here back through kind of 22.85s. That's where I can add and take a shot for the downside to come in. So here, watch out for the spike and then looking for the cut back down. So that's what I'm looking for on IonQ. We'll see what happens in Tesla. Tesla back towards 347, could take 348 as the overall market not looking too bad here. Still looking good here as it starts to bounce back, but it's just interesting because definitely saw some shake earlier in the market today. The Qs still haven't made it back through VWAP, yet you've had such a great day in certain stocks. That just shows you the SPY holding things up right now, but we're definitely extended on the SPY and different stocks. So at some point, we're going to get a pullback, I feel like, this week. The only question is, when will that happen? That's the hard part, the timing aspect of it. All right, there's IonQ back down. Will it fade off of this 2290s? It just tapped it once there. It still hasn't gone for that 23 one more time. So you've seen 1, 2, 3 attempts to break that 23. I usually look for one more attempt to break it. Let's see if we get that. There's that 23 attempt here. Got to be careful with the spike there, back through the 23s. And here's what I was talking about. So I will get out through the 2320s if it starts to spike through that. Back down through the 9 EMA. There's the breakdown. So here's that 1, 2, 3, 4 times to try to break through the 23s. It's the last time. If not, it could get the strength there and go quickly to the 24s. So that's why I'm not battling it here for a lot of sense there. There it is. Just cut me out there and still could cut down back through that 23s. But I don't want to stay in it there if it starts to drive. 105 down on the limited account, still up 254 on this account. So don't want to push it too much, but let's see if this starts to come back down here. If not, it's done that attempt already. Back through this wick here, and you get the strength to really start pushing here. There's the 312s, just a slight tick there. Let's see if they take the 2313s, and then it starts to climb back. If not, you could still get the takedown. SPY still weak, man. It's just like a weird day out there right now, guys. I'd be careful. Keep trying to, make the money, but there's a back and forth action right now that's a little bit interesting. LADS up to the 166 and right back down. So there's 2317s there. Got up there to the 19. Still no rejection. Just shows you how IonQ is starting to climb back. BCG. All right, this one's halted a couple of times, though. That's the only scary part. 1, 2, 3 halts. After 3 halts, you could halt on the downside. That's where I'd be very careful here on this BCG. I like it, but after 3 halts, usually comes a down halt. I'm not playing that. All right, guys, not much going on here in the market. We'll see if BCG starts to work its way back to the upside. I mean, it's definitely has been it's in the right space, right? It's in financials, but holy moly, not seeing much out there today, guys. It's a tough day for me. Big hit in the main account. That's where I lost a lot. We'll see if this starts to work its way back. There's some biotechs that aren't doing too bad. This one was a big mover this morning, but now fading off of it. We'll see if it starts to recover. There's some of these that don't look too bad. GDC trying to recover the 220s. This one's still holding in. It's an electronic gaming one that could start making a move to 245, 250. Don't know this one, GDC, but hey, you can see it trying to make its work back there. Crypto names, how do those continue? They've pulled back a little bit here. We'll see what happens in CleanSpark as it's reopened. It tried to get up there to 17. Pullback could start coming back, but man, what a big rip on that open. Q's trying to recover here. We'll look to see if it starts to recover, and then SPY can start to recover. Tesla was a great call this morning, just badly executed. If I took this trade, would I have gotten it? I mean, it was a hard one to get through this wick here at the 10:15 time. So big move back there at the 350 spot there for Tesla. We'll see if it takes the 350 and keeps going. That's going to help, of course, the stock start to work its way back. Will Google go back to the green there? It's held right now. Could hold that push and continue back towards the upside. Daily look is through that 183. We'll look to see if we get back there later in the day. There's BCG trying to make the breakout there. We'll see if it goes to another hole on the upside. But I'll tell you one thing. Normally, I don't play any stock after 3 halts. I just don't like to do it. We'll look to see if it goes for an up move or does it do a down move. IonQ holding still that 23. So just holding on right now. Just climbing the wall of worry. Could still break down, but for right now, it's holding on. All right, guys, we'll see what we can get here. There is it back through the 23s. It's trying to break down a little bit, this IonQ. I have to short 100 shares and then risk like another 20 bucks. It doesn't seem too bad to risk that amount, right? because this could make me like 100 to 200 on the downside. This could go towards like 21s. Recovers at 23 there, holding still. Yeah, it's just still holding. Got to watch it. At some point, I think it starts to come back down, but could still stay sideways here for a little while, trying to get you to get in. Q's and SPY still trying to climb back there, guys. It's 10:56. I'm out of here, guys. It's been a tough one for me today. Down about 105 in the limited account. Let's go to the main account here. Main account down 718. So down on the account to 390, guys. I always tell you guys how it is, and it's back and forth in this account. So just going to keep battling, right? That's all I can do, right? You guys see it here. Down 390. I was up like 4 something earlier on this main account. So just got to keep battling on that one. We'll find out what works out in this one. IonQ, definitely a tough one for me today. Tried to balance it on the swing trade, made a really good trade, then made a really bad trade on IonQ. Another thing was not watching that one out the gates. Should have been watching it. It's very hard to do 3 accounts at once. And today it definitely cost me on kind of my mindset on all over the place. But let's keep pushing. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I'll be back, guys. Hit the like button. And like always, keep battling right here on Trade the Pool. If you haven't checked out our limited account, that's probably going to be the best way right now, the best opportunity to really have that succeed, to really find that success if you're a beginner trader, right? So check it out, guys. This is our limited account, only 1350. That's all you got to get after. So if you're not going for it right now, I don't know what you're waiting for. Today, that'll do it for me, guys. Hit the subscribe if you're not subscribed already. I'll see you guys back tomorrow. Smash the like. Keep it going right here. Trade the Pool, guys. And like always, you guys can keep up with the action on the Discord. I know I get out of here, but the Discord keeps it going.